get started here in a minute, guys. All right, cool. Yeah. All right. Y'all come a little closer. Yeah, just kind of fill in here. There you go. All right, thank y'all for being here today. We really appreciate it on short notice. Community with a grocery store. We are concerned about not only the grocery stores that are leaving DeKalb County, but the fact that now food insecurity is becoming a major issue, not just here in DeKalb, not just in Metro Atlanta, but nationwide. The burden of food insecurity for families has led DeKalb County to seek partnerships with our local nonprofits, other organizations, and later you'll be hearing from the Rataza Mobile Farmers Market, which is a group, an initiative that will be launching next week here in DeKalb County. We're very excited about it. I am Commissioner Ted Terry. I represent Super District 6. I'm proud to be joined here by my fellow Super Commissioner, Commissioner Ladina Bolton, Dr. Ladina Bolton. I'll introduce her in just a second here. And one of the things that we are also talking about today is the SNAP gap. And so part of what we're going to be discussing here with our state leaders and our constituents is the hope that federal SNAP benefits do not end on November 1st. And if there is a gap in coverage over the next few days or a few weeks, God forbid, few months, that we seek the assistance of our state leaders to fill in and close that gap. This is a critical moment for DeKalb County, for our residents. It's important that we show up for them. And so we're here today with the media to highlight the voices of the individuals that are working every day to address these issues and to, again, call for support to the state and federal leaders. So at this time, I'll introduce Super District 7 Commissioner Dr. Ladina Bolton.
Thank you, Commissioner Terry. I appreciate your leadership in making sure we had an opportunity to address our residents and make sure that folks know that we are partnering, having the conversations and working together to do what's necessary to support the folks that we serve. Again, my name is Dr. Ladina Bolton. I'm our Super District 7 Commissioner, and I represent nearly half of the county. But I'm not here today simply because I represent this area. I was very adamant about being here today because I was raised in this community. In fact, I'm still raising my children here, and I have a son who's old enough to have a child of his own that he may consider raising in this area as well. I was a kid when we moved to this area, and this Kroger has been an anchor in this community since then. And so when it was closed, it wasn't just devastating for the community, it was actually foreshadowing for what we would see across the state of Georgia and ultimately across the nation with the federal furloughs and with the anticipation of the potential to lose our SNAP benefits. It's causing local jurisdictions all over the nation to have to galvanize, to partner, to reach out to those who we know can help us support the residents that we serve. In communities like South DeKalb, where food deserts stretch for miles, families don't have time to wait. They need help right now. That's why District 7 has partnered with organizations like the Salvation Army Peach Crest Corps to help with hot meals and fully stock their food pantry. And starting next week, as Commissioner Terry indicated, the Mobile Market Mondays will bring fresh, affordable produce directly into neighborhoods that need it the most. And I've said it before, food insecurity is a public health crisis, and we cannot wait for federal solutions tomorrow when our neighbors are going hungry today. Georgia has the resources, and the moral obligation to step in and protect our most vulnerable residents. This is what leadership looks like. And it's not just about one office, one agency, it's about all of us. Today, we are joined by our business partners, our nonprofits, city officials, of course, county, state officials. We have come together to pool our resources and coordinate efforts to support each other and our residents. And while we do that locally in each of our jurisdictions, we're urging the state to do it as well. During this federal shutdown, unity is our greatest strength. And we're not just talking about food justice, we're here delivering it. So at this time, I'd like to introduce one of our DeKalb residents, as well as a former federal employee, Abby Tai, to come and address you all.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for this opportunity to speak. My name is Abby Tai, and I am currently volunteering with a nonprofit that some fired CDC folks have worked to set up called the National Public Health Coalition. We are focused on the public health of our communities and of our country, but right now there is a much more pressing and critical issue, which is the potential lapse in SNAP benefits for the people who need it the most. I was fired earlier this year. Thousands of my federal coworkers have also been fired. Even more of them have now been furloughed. Some of them are being, required to work without any pay. And so we've seen this cycle of this federal administration attacking Georgians specifically. And we've seen that since February with the attack on the CDC repeatedly over the course of the 10 months that this administration has been in power. And now we're seeing this administration attack Georgians who rely on SNAP benefits and who need access to food. And our organization and the folks who I'm here to, help represent really want to let Governor Kemp know that it is his responsibility to fill that gap. He works for us. The surplus that exists in this state is not his money. It's our money. It's our tax money. And it should be used to make sure people can eat. It is unacceptable to let people go without food, regardless of your politics. And we need a governor who is going to stand up for Georgians and not stand up for the party that he represents. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope that we will see the federal government come forth with a solution. And if not, I hope that we see our state leaders come up with a solution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abby. Now at this time, I'd like to call up State Representative Mary Margaret Oliver, who represents this area, and then followed by her former County Commissioner Larry Johnson, who also used to represent this area. State Representative Oliver.
Thank you very much. Welcome to House District 84, about the middle of DeKalb County. In less than 48 hours, 1.3 million Georgians, most of whom are children, will lose the ability to feed their families. They will be going hungry when their legal entitlement to food stamp relief is taken away from them. About an hour ago, Governor Kemp issued a long statement blaming the Democrats for the fact that 1.3 million Georgians will go hungry beginning Saturday. I don't care who's at fault. What I care about is that we are facing a serious issue, a disaster, the size of which I have rarely seen in my long political life. The things that I watch that's happening in our country right now are all disturbing to me, and I sometimes will have hope that the court will help us and that the voters will help us, particularly Tuesday, November 4th, or a year from now on the midterm elections. But the court is not going to help us before Saturday. The President of the United States has told every Republican governor not to help feed the people that in their state. He has told them to hold firm on this inability to resolve an obligation to create a budget that they are obligated to correct. I am very concerned about the fact that 1.3 million Georgians will be going hungry beginning Saturday. I feel that we all are responsible for that gap, that failure, and I'm asking all of my friends here, my friends at the Capitol, and particularly my friends in the leadership of Georgia that are saying publicly, from Governor Kemp on down, we just can't afford to help people this week. Well, we have $16 billion in the bank for reserve for emergencies, and it's my personal opinion that 1.3 million Georgians, most of whom are children, are going to go hungry beginning Saturday is an emergency we must address. Thank you for your attention.
I just want to thank our commissioners. As a former county commissioner and representing this area 30332, folks are already starving. November 1st is coming up, but if you've been budgeting, you've already missed some meals. And it's so important that our governor, my friend, it's time to get off the surplus and provide the funds that are needed. If you want to know, ask the custodians around the Capitol. Ask the folks who's at the governor's mansion, who's making the meals, on how hard it is to provide for their families. SNAP benefits are just one component. Head Start is in trouble. Daycare is in trouble. You got LAHEEB. That's the place that pays for your light and gas that you used to get funding for. So we're in a tsunami, you all, and we need the help of our governor to make these things happen. Thank God we have commissioners on the ground who care, who understand. This mobile market is going to go a long way. I've had a chance to volunteer at the food pantry every week. You know, people are happy to get eggs. Remember when eggs were just something different? When you handle a carton of eggs, they're so happy to get it. Folks are hurting. And these are folks that just not in just everyday folks. These are folks that need our help. So what we can do to fill the SNAP gap is to go to these food pantries. If you have a donation, donate the money to it. Let's help out the nonprofits in our community. Let's help our commissioners who are out here pushing to make sure that the citizens of DeKalb are not going to go without. And we got to make it happen. We got to fill that SNAP gap, and it starts with us today. Thank you, Governor. Let's do it.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, I'd like to call up Kashi Siegel, who's the CEO of the Rataza Market. Rataza will be working with DeKalb County and our CEO and commissioners over the next several months to provide the mobile market Mondays. And she's going to talk a little bit about what that program means and how it's going to reach all corners of DeKalb County. Kashi?
Hi everyone, so I'm Kashi Siegel, founder and CEO of Rataza, and I'm so excited to be talking about this mobile market program that we have in partnership with DeKalb County. It is the Farm Fresh Mobile Market, and we are going to be bringing it to all areas of DeKalb County, as Commissioner Terry just mentioned. On Mondays and Fridays, we are still working out where exactly, but we support, at Rataza, we support local farmers. We buy from local farms. We support farms all over the state and close to Atlanta. And we use that farm fresh produce at these markets and make the produce super affordable for residents. So these are markets that anybody can access with SNAP and with other means of paying. But these markets are tools for communities. We want them to be community hubs where people can come and just hang out if they want to. But this is a great resource for DeKalb County. We're excited to partner with the entire county and looking forward to starting next week.
All right. We're very excited about it. All right, so in conclusion, DeKalb County is hurting right now. There's areas of our county, such as this shopping center, that has seen investment go away. Access to groceries, to fresh foods. DeKalb County is doing what we can to step into the gap. By the end of this year, we will have appropriated close to $1 million in our own local tax funds in supporting food assistance programs, programs that bring fresh produce and food pantries right to the neighborhoods, to the communities. We need our state leaders to step up. We need our governor to step up. We need our president, Congress, everyone. We need y'all to get it together. We need you to address the budget issues, but in the meantime, don't let these SNAP benefits fall by the wayside. There's too many people, there's too many children that are going to be harmed by this. We're going to do what we can as local leaders. I'm honored to stand beside my fellow Super Commissioner, Dr. Ladina Bolton, to do what we can, but we need help, and that's why we're here. So at this time, we'll be happy to take any questions that y'all might have. Well, number one, this issue happening with the budget, and it's always partisan politics, who's going to talk to who, but we need leadership at this time. And so if you're the leader of the country, we need you to be a leader. Being a leader means calling in, not calling out. So we got to get them in a room, and they need to work it out. But in the meantime, do not cut our SNAP benefits. Find a way to keep that going. They're finding other creative ways to fund programs that are vital to national security, to military defense, to air traffic control maybe. But food is vital to life. Millions of people across America, but definitely here in Georgia, are at risk. You want to say anything?
I do, absolutely. Sometimes folks have to lead from the back. We expect our leadership at the top, the federal government, to make the right decisions at the right time for the right reasons. But when we don't get that response, as local leaders, we know we have to be the example. And once all of the local area jurisdictions get together to show the federal government what it looks like to stand for residents and our community members, they'll fall in line.
Thank you.
Last thing for me, for the people who are already kind of going through it and starving already, how would they get in contact with you guys for resources on help and food if they need it right now?
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you that we have several resources on our county website. There's going to be a big announcement on Monday that our CEO, Lorraine Cochran-Johnson, along with the commissioners, will be announcing. And a lot of it depends on what happens, November 1st and beyond. But we're preparing for what we think will be the worst for days, if not weeks. And I know for Rataza, they're going to be starting in November. And so they're going to start making the rounds around the county at various stops all over the county to provide their access. And then, you want to mention the Southeast Army thing again?
Absolutely. So a couple of things. If you go on our social media for District 7, Bolton for DeKalb, we've posted some resources already. So whether it's for food resources or those who have been furloughed and need support for rent, mortgage, utilities, even credit card support, you can go on our social media, our Instagram, and see what some of those resources are currently. Also, as I mentioned in my statement earlier, we're partnering with the Salvation Army Peachcrest Corps, which is just, up the road from here. We have supported them giving $25,000 toward their pantry. And so if you reach out to the Salvation Army, residents can get support there as well. Or just reach out to our office at District 7 at DeKalbCountyGA.gov.
All right. Anything else? Yeah, so the reason why Commissioner Bolton and I are here together is because we actually represent both sides of the street. And one of the big things that we're talking about and working on with Decide DeKalb is how do we revitalize some of these shopping centers. Some of them have gone abandoned, they've been blighted, dilapidated. We want to see reinvestment back in the community. And so what we hope at this shopping center and many others across the county, especially when a grocery store is closed or there's a food desert, is how can we bring in new opportunities, new economic development, new investment, but also those vital things like access to fresh food, affordable housing, community services.
And an example of what some of that may look like, if you just consider the new development that's coming at the corner of Kendler and Glenwood, the Publix. Many residents are excited about it. That is an anchor or a seedling that will branch out into this area and grow. And so we'll start to see more and more development because the interest is there.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank everyone again for coming out. Thank you to Commissioner Dr. Ladina Bolton for her leadership. Thank you to our local resident and former government employee Abby Ty for her words and inspiration. Thank you to our state leaders, State Representative Mary Margaret Oliver, former Commissioner Larry Johnson, and to Rataza and all of everyone behind me. Thank y'all so much for being here and supporting this effort. The last thing I'll ask is if anyone is watching this or seeing this in the future, please consider what you can do. We're going to do all we can from the local government side, try to encourage our state, federal leaders, but this is a time for the community to step up, and there's a lot of calls to action right now to do what individually we can do to donate and support the food pantries. So whether it's volunteering, donating food, time, money, all of that really helps. So we want to encourage our DeKalb County family and community to step up at this time of need.